Hello everyone. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Francine and I'm here with my channel, The Hermetic Herald. I'm here for another channeled message for you guys. This is going to be an exciting one that I've been waiting for. I've actually been trying to maintain my energy so that I could have enough to put into this reading in particular. So this is going to be a reading on One Direction. So I'm going to be touching base with all members, all 5 members. Please correct me if I'm incorrect at any point in the reading. I like corrective or constructive criticism. It's very much appreciated, and I love confirmations if you see any in this reading. So I've done a couple of readings on each of the 5 members in different ways, where I've touched base on one of them with another, kind of a mixture. So we're gonna go into this without any kind of I'm not going to go back to any readings. I'm going to go fresh into this one, and we're going to touch base on how each of them feel about each other. So how does Zayn feel about Liam, Harry, Niall, Lewis? How does Liam feel about Zayn, Harry, Niall, Lewis, and so forth? So we're just going to kind of break it down. I'm going to be going through each person. So this is going to be quite an energy exchange, and I'm going to just touch base with them on their past energy, how they felt about each other in general, and then what they currently feel towards them now. So let's get started. Let's see what's coming through for them. So we're going to use a couple of decks. We're going to use the typical Rider-Waite for the rest of for the majority of the message, and then we're going to touch base with the shamanic healing deck as well, and then we're going to also touch base with their archetypes. Okay, and then kind of go from there. We'll see what else comes through as we go. So I'm hearing Harry. Let's go into Harry. Let's touch base on how each of them felt about Harry. And based on what direction, which is funny, like One Direction, based on the direction of the card as it comes out, that's going to determine if it's the shadow energy or the negative energy. Like, let's say Harry has some negativity towards another member, you're going to notice that the card's going to be upside down, and we're going to look at the archetype and how it corresponds with the shadow. So it's just going to depend on the direction of the cards. So let's see what comes through. Spirit team, thank you so much for being present here. I'm getting, got so many cards. It's like they want me to touch base with all of them. So let's go into them. This is separate. Okay. Spirit team, archangels, guides, please assist me in tapping into a number of people today. Help me tap into Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Liam Payne, Lewis or Louis. I've been saying his name wrong. Sorry guys. Louis Tomlinson, and let's see if I got anyone else. Niall Horan. Please help me tap into their energies. I'm hearing these exquisite beings. Help me tap into these exquisite beings, these people that have captured the attention of so many people in the collective. Please help me to understand them better. Okay, interesting. So I'm getting them in order, okay? So this is about Harry, all right? Just confirming, Spirit team. Is this for Harry? Is this group of cards how Harry feels about them? One card to confirm that for me. Judgment. Okay, so yes, this is for Harry. Nice. He has a very playful energy coming through as I'm tapping into his energy. I'm hearing drawbacks. So I feel like he has seen, and interesting, I'm hearing infidels. I feel like he has some awareness of some drawbacks with each of them, each of his prior teammates. And I'm hearing bratwurst, which is interesting. Does he like bratwurst, like sausages specifically? Something about his food choices or preferences are coming through. Maybe food and like sitting around eating with them was a really precious time. For some reason I'm getting food. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm hearing vacations. Let's see what he feels towards. We have Zayn right now. The archetype that really embodies how he feels about Zayn, how he feels about Liam, how he feels about Niall, and then finally with Lewis. What is the card that truly embodies what he feels towards Lewis? All right. Or Louis. got it. Spirit team. For Zayn, Harry and Zayn, let's see what's going on. The energy surrounding them, this is how Harry feels about Zayn. He sees him as the martyr, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Harry sees Zayn particularly as someone who's really worthy of a number of things in life, because he's gone through a lot of crap. So the martyr typically is the person who stands up for a cause, stands up for their rights. And I'm hearing rights to power, rights to privilege. And he feels like he's the martyr. He's the one that's gone through a lot of deep trauma or deep difficulties with regards to his situation in life. The martyr typically is the person who has a lot of firmly held beliefs, but is also willing to take on sacrifice in order to accomplish a goal. So he sees him as the martyr archetype. Someone who's been under a lot of not only scrutiny, because I feel like all of them have been through some level of scrutiny, intense scrutiny with people, but I feel like he's coming from a place of seeing him as, I see the Ten of Swords energy, someone who has had a number of swords aimed or charged at them, a number of arrows charged at them, and he feels like he's taken a lot or a brunt of the pressure, a brunt of the animosity. Interesting. I'm getting stuffed up with his energy, which is telling me that he feels stuffed up or feels like kind of emotionally charged with regards to Zayn, his feelings towards him, and feeling that he takes on the brunt of the burden with regards to the group so far. Okay, that was a deep energy coming in for him. So Harry definitely feels, he feels guilty in some way. I'm feeling just blame, like that Zayn has gotten a lot of blame or had a lot of things, as you can see in this picture, thrown at him with the martyr card. So Harry feels like he's the martyr of the group. Now with regards to Liam, how does he feel? He feels that Liam is a rescuer. This is someone who provides strength and support to others in crisis and acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Beautiful energy. So it's someone who feels like this person threw you a lifeboat or threw you some saving grace, something that helped you float and something that helped you keep yourself afloat. I feel like this is coming through. Interesting. This is coming through, and it feels like it's energy I've tapped into with Liam, which makes sense that he's coming through as someone who is a big help to Harry in how I'm hearing sustained and how he kept himself afloat in the relationship. I don't know them personally, so this is going to be something I need confirmation on, if you guys know, but I feel like he's almost like a mothering energy. Interesting. Someone who is really supportive, someone who didn't expect anything in return, and someone who is really strong in the group. So I feel like Harry sees Liam, as a strong suit, someone that you can depend on in some form or fashion. Blue represents throat chakra. They likely were very communicative I'm hearing community, but communicative with him. So they were very communicative with each other. They feel like they have like an understanding between these two, a very strong understanding of something. What's interesting is at the bottom of the deck for all of them, for Harry's end, we have the father archetype. Father archetype is typically about someone who is supporting life, someone who has a talent for creating things, a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So he's coming from a place of like feeling like this person is like a brother to him, or someone who really cares and wants. I'm hearing knock things out. Like Liam seems like a very blunt person in some ways, where I feel like he would just knock him over the head with something or tell him something honestly, and he would probably get really uncomfortable at times with like the information and the truth. But I feel like Liam tried saving him or tried to rescue him from situations by like telling him off the rip, like just as it is, and he was kind of caught off guard by that. I'm just getting that energy. I feel like he felt a competitive edge with regards to each of them in some form or fashion, because we have not only father, which is a very supportive energy, but we have athlete. That's someone who's competitive, who's able to transcend limitations, someone who has personal willpower and strength of spirit. And then we have the loyalty, the love, the romance, and the chivalry. So I feel like there was like this competitive edge with regards to not only their craft, but also how people perceive them in the media. Like of who's the biggest heartthrob, that energy coming through of like each of them having their own niche or own group of people that were interested in them together. For instance, it's like they had their own lane. And I feel like there was a competitive energy about them. So let's keep going. Rescuer for Liam. We have for Niall, poet. He felt like Niall was a poet archetype, someone who was very had very good and beautiful lyricism, someone who could express the soul, express the aspects of the soul that people might not understand or see or have ever heard of in the way that Niall specifically is able to speak. There's something about that. He loved hearing him speak. So Harry really loved hearing Niall speak. There was something about the way he spoke, and I don't know if it's his accent or something like that, but he loved the way he would express himself. That really brought him joy. Okay. There's something about the words that Niall would say, them being very effective in teaching him, with teaching at the bottom of the deck. We're going to go into depth on each of these in a second, but let's get into Louis, God. So Harry saw Louis as the God archetype, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. If I were to look at the energies between them, I would say that Harry and Zayn had a very giving relationship, in the sense of Zayn gave a lot to Harry. Zayn gave a lot to anything that he put himself to, and that was why he was the martyr archetype. With Liam, he was feeling more of a warmth about him, but also feeling like he was a very straightforward person, very King of Swords energy, very communicative, very blunt. With regards to Niall, I'm feeling more of like a smooth, jazzy, like a smooth, enticing energy, and I'm hearing aroma. So I don't know if Niall cooked, but there's this energy of like the palate, hedonistic energy, like enjoying life with him. And then with Louis, I'm getting this energy of him, Louis being someone who's like an all-around person that's benevolent, compassionate, kind, caring. The strength of the relationship with Louis is stronger off the bat, and then I would say the others have their own significant or impactful part in Harry's life. So I would say God is standing out to me the most. So I'm seeing that he had a stronger bond with Louis of the four. Can you please clarify all of these for us, Spirit? We have the Page, or the Knight of Cups. He has a very Knight of Cups energy towards all of them. He has a lot of love for them in different ways. I can't recall their signs, but I'm feeling like Liam is like an earth energy, and more so straight to the point in some ways. And I feel like he had a heart for helping in some way. And I'm seeing the Page of Cups, which is typically Harry's energy. So Harry, what is your feelings towards Zayn? Why is the martyr archetype here? Okay, so we have a lot come out. I only like to take what flips over. So we have the Page of Wands. This is the energy of someone who feels like they can come towards a person and they're passionate about them, passionate about getting to know them, passionate about exploring. They're a very adventurous person and have an adventurous side to them. But we also have the Hanged Man, being in deliberation about someone. So it seems as though Harry had a moment of deliberation. He had a moment of trying to define, I'm hearing define and have clarity about a situation with regards to his friendship or his relationship with Zayn in particular. I feel like he had a lot of interest in moving forward and being adventurous, of getting to know him. And I feel like there was this energy of having to take a moment of pause. Reflection was necessary in this relationship. Okay. And we're going to look at, this is going to be, what I'm already feeling is that this is the past. So we're going to continue with just the past. I like to go with the flow. So let's go with all of this. The Justice card is coming through as well. I feel like he had to hold back in some capacity, Harry. Specifically with Zayn, he felt like he had to hold off and he had to think about things. He had to be very considerate of how he stepped. He had to be very careful with his steps. So he kind of felt like he had to walk around, around Zayn at some point with eggshells. We have 3 cards at the bottom of the deck, which is the Devil, which is about like feeling in bondage to something, feeling like you're stuck or tied down. 6 of Pentacles, feeling like a need for balance, give and take, and then the Queen of Wands. So with the Tower, guys, their relationship was really pivotal in Harry's life, because on Harry's end, he felt like Zayn had a tendency, between the two of them, they had a tendency of getting into a very darker place or getting into a very like precarious position, and there needed to be more balance between the two of them. They often had to take time away to balance, because I feel like they had to understand the fire energy in here is interesting. We had the Page of Wands and we have the Queen of Wands here for describing the relationship between these two. Wands energy typically denotes like excitement, determination, power. It's like a very strong presence. I'm feeling like the feminine energy was expressed in this relationship with the Queen of Wands, the independence between them, for sure. And look at that, we have I was gonna say the Hermit. So I feel like they learned a lot of lessons with each other. We see the Hierophant, the Knight of Wands, and the Tower. Interesting. I just heard the word oppressor. Why am I hearing that word? Why am I hearing oppressor? Eight of Swords. They didn't feel in control with each other. They felt like they felt really confused and muddled. Why did they feel confused and muddled at times with each other? Don't get me wrong, they care for each other a lot, but look at what we're getting. There's the 2 of Pentacles, which is a need for balance between the two of them. They needed balance in their lives. They needed balance between the two of them. And what else do we have? The 6 of Cups. They were soulmate type. They had a past life relationship. But I feel like they had some lessons that they had to learn in this life, because soulmates can come in many forms. You can have soulmates that are your friends, soulmates that are your lovers, soulmates that are your family members or your pets, because they came from they're people from a different life, or spirits from a different life. There's something about them learning a very big lesson about their balance. And I feel like they got into some temptation with regards to the Devil energy. That could be any vice. What was their vice? If you would not mind us knowing, Spirit Team. What is the vice between these two? 10 of Pentacles. Family. 10 of Pentacles came through. Is there anything else? Okay. Oh my gosh, guys. These two got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. Okay. They feel like family. There's something about these two having like a very strong bond, a very strong family type energy. Like, this goes back. Okay, this is not new energy. Zayn and Harry have something there long term. Like, I'm hearing long term. Mature woman is coming through. But they feel like they have to find balance with each other. And I'm hearing racketeering. What does racketeering have to do with anything? Just so they feel like they love being back in the day. This is past energy, okay? So we're gonna see how it looks in the present later on. But back in the day, they felt like they had gotten and struck wealth with each other. They felt like change was imminent, that they had made a huge change in their lives, that they were on a trajectory of success, and that they felt like they met each other at like a very pivotal time in their lives. Now, the energy of the Page of Wands means they were ready to explore, like ready to open up to each other, ready to go deeper. And there was this need for pause, because I felt like they got too quick. They got down that road too quick, because they felt like they had to keep one another out in some way, like put up some blocks. And that's why we had the Hanged Man earlier. Did you guys remember that? We had the Hanged Man come through and then the Four of Swords, which is classic for taking a break, needing to take time away to find balance with the Justice. And I'm hearing like it just, they needed justice in their lives. They needed to have like their balance placed on something else other than each other. And I don't know, this is a really interesting vibe. This is not what This is not something that I try to force, but we're getting 3 cards at the bottom, okay? Poverty, main female, and imprisonment. I feel like they try to get away from feminine energies that try to imprison them in some way. Like with regards to, yeah, look at that, guys, lovers. With regards to relationships that were stolen from them, or relationships that didn't last, I feel like they learned really big lessons together because they were going through it together as wealthy men. So I feel like these two learned a lot of lessons in love with soulmates that they respectively had. And I feel like they understood each other on a very deep level because of that. And that's why the tower fell. I feel like they had some things between them. I've done other readings on these two, and you guys know what I said, and I stand by that. So if you don't know, definitely check it out. But I got some interesting information for someone who doesn't know these two, and a lot of confirmation. So I'm gonna just kind of keep it real. They're family. They're like family to each other, and I said that in other readings. I feel like this relationship was stolen though in some way, because I feel like they were a blessing to each other, but something just didn't work out because they were too, like, there were some fears that really snuffed out something here, and the devil energy is what snuffed that out. I feel like they had to maintain control in some manner because they weren't controlling themselves enough in this relationship. But we have number 6, number 9, and number 11. We have just a lot of change. I feel like they mirrored each other a lot as well. I'm just getting like a very long-standing relationship, like something from the past coming through for these two. So we have just a lot coming through for Zayn and for Harry. Let's keep it going. I'm still kind of in awe of these two cards, the 10 and 10. 2 10s coming through completion. They felt complete and they felt like a family. You can't emulate that or fake that. That's just definitely meant to come through that way. And I feel this card, 4 Cups. I feel like they're missing that currently in this energy. I feel like they currently are kind of trying to focus on moving out of that, moving forward. They've moved forward a while ago. I'm seeing 7 of Swords energy, like running away. They ran away from the situation, and look at that, guys. I kid you not. 3 of Swords is here. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's continue with, how does Harry feel about Liam, Spirit? How does Harry feel about Liam? Look at that, Virgo energy. How does Harry feel about Liam? How does Harry feel about... Okay. Card that came out was the Hermit. He felt like he was the Hermit. He felt like, and we have the Lovers coming through as a second card. How does Harry feel about Liam, Spirit? And we also have the 7 of Cups. Interesting. Bottom of the deck is the High Priestess, the 5 of Cups, and the 2 of Swords. Interesting. I'm hearing a match. So all of these, it's interesting. This entire group of people is I'm hearing magnificent, in the sense that they literally have some really strong bonds, but in this life you may not see them manifest or materialize in the way you might expect. They might end up having something long term, like a friendship down the road that continues on, right, long term. But there's Harry and Liam. What's interesting about them is I feel like they, just like the others, they met for a purpose. They met in their group for a purpose and a time and a season. But I'm feeling like he was a very expressive person in his life. He told him a lot of things he needed to hear. With the Hermit, that gives me the energy of someone who's taken the time to understand themselves or to go deeper. And I feel like with the Lovers card, that's major arcana as well. I feel like they had a bridge that they needed to do. There was like something between them that needed to be bridged. And I don't know what it was. It seems like they had illusions about each other. So I'm hearing the Rescuer and the Prophet. I feel like Harry thought he was like trying to preach at him. I'm just gonna say what I'm hearing. So with the Rescuer archetype, what I'm feeling is that Harry feels like Liam was trying to rescue him. or trying to preach at him or trying to tell him something. I don't know what Liam believes or if that's ever come into play with this, but I'm feeling like there was a divide between the two of them, Gemini energy, where they had some roadblocks with regards to communication. Like they were not communicating quite well enough. And I feel like they had like a bridge. I would love to know what Liam's Mercury is and what Harry's Mercury is, because I wonder if that's affecting how they communicate with each other. Because we have the Judgment card, right? We have the Eight of Wands, all about communication, and we have the Two of Cups. I feel like he reached him though. He got to communicate with him and he made sense, but sometimes there were illusions around these two. Why is the Seven of Cups here? Ooh, okay. Why is the Seven of Cups here for Liam? Okay, we have a card that flipped over. Sometimes I'm hearing illusions of grandeur, like feeling like he wasn't sure if Liam was his friend or not. Sometimes. But I see here a lot of love, like a lot of compassion, a lot of kindness. I see that a lot of shiftiness, a lot of Gemini energy, very mercurial. I feel like they had like interesting conversations. I feel like they had an interesting relationship. I feel like they had times where they would like, they were very like crafty people. These two are crafty. They like to create things like, whoa, okay. So we have strength. Interesting, I'm hearing weakness. So their weakness was like their relationships, like, I feel like their relationships needed some work, and I'm hearing brightening, and they were kind of, they resonated with each other because they needed help with their relationships, or something about overactive sexuality, like overactive, something about the Tower and like sexuality, like overactive, interesting, being interested in people and it being their weakness. I feel like they used to talk about people that they were interested in. They used to talk about a number of things. I think they had like a guy code, it feels like, because it seems as though they had moments where they would talk and reflect on people they were interested in or things they wanted to do with these people. Something like that. Interesting energy came in the room. All right, I feel like this card is for them, and I'm seeing the Ten of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, they felt really happy with each other. You know what it feels like? It feels like a club. They felt like they were members of an elite club, and they felt like they understood each other, and they would talk about like their experiences and what they've gone through and their escapades. Very communicative. But they were both very set energies, okay? I feel like Harry knew that Liam wanted to help him or rescue him in some way, shape, or form within the industry, but I also feel like he was not willing to yield, because he's a very strong energy as well, Harry specifically. I'm just getting the energy that Harry was pretty set on what he believed and thought, but he respected the interest in trying to assist him or something like that. And I'm hearing the Register of Deeds, like, you know, things he would do. I feel like he would come back to him, Liam would talk to him and come back to him and tell him things about what he did. Something like that, justice. So interesting. Even though this card, justice, was for Zayn, I feel like Liam was like karmic justice for Harry. Yeah, look at that, guys. Ace of Swords. Let's move on. How does Harry feel about Niall, Spirit team? Wow, that came out real fast. The Hierophant. He felt like he had a lot to learn from him, and I feel like this is what he had in a reading prior. Four of Wands. He celebrated with him. He felt like he could celebrate with Niall. This card wants to come through, the King of Cups. A lot of love. He has a lot of love for his teammates or the people that he was in this team with. I mean, even if they had like their squabbles, there was like this love though, respect or love for each other, admiration coming through. Is there anything else you'd like to say for Niall? What sets Niall apart with regards to Harry's feelings? We have Leo energy, strength, okay, and the Star, Six of Wands. Oh wow, okay. So you know how I said in the beginning, I feel like Louis has the strongest energy? I think Louis alone has a very strong energy coming through with the God archetype. But I'm just going to tell you guys right now, the relationship with Niall and Harry is pretty pretty cool, pretty deep, because I'm feeling a lot of love coming through this reading for him. When you see like someone who feels like you're strong, someone who feels like you're capable, you're graceful about things, you're very strong-willed and determined and successful, and there's a number of beautiful things coming through for him. Do you guys see any negative cards? I'm not seeing that. I'm getting a very nurturing energy with regards to Niall. We're getting the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups, guys. Yeah, he has a lot of love for Niall as well, as a friend and as a I'm hearing compadre. Interesting. I'm hearing it in another language. So interesting. I should keep those here. Let's keep that there. Okay. Wow. Beautiful energy though. What else do we need to know? Because what else is there to really understand? Like, I want to know the stuff that we don't know. Okay. Two of Swords and the World. Restructured. I'm hearing restructured. I feel like he restructured something that he felt in regards to organization. Something about Niall having like a way of seeing the world in a more abundant light, in a more feminine light, and that helping him in some way. What's interesting is in the past, I believe with Niall, he was going through some healing. I'm gonna have to look back on the videos, but some healing with regards to the feminine energy. But I'm feeling like he had a lot of intuitive nudgings about his career path, and that helped Harry. When he felt like unsure and he felt like he was in hanged man mode, like he couldn't understand a situation, he was really down or depressed, or I shouldn't say depressed because that's a real thing, that's an important DSM type thing. But when you look at like the sadness that he experienced, I'm feeling like he recognized the indecision that he had about his art in some cases, and he decided to say, you know what, I'm going to talk to Niall about this, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to help see things from a different perspective and transition. I feel like he looked to Niall for balance, because we have here this Sagittarius energy, Temperance. He saw him as balance. He looked at him from afar and he felt like he understood or had clarity about his situation. And I feel like Harry looked up to him in that way for that reason. He's very abundant. He sees him as just very abundant, very transformative. He goes through so many cycles in life, or like learning very big lessons and pivotal lessons in his life. I'm getting like a lot of imagery and things that I need to talk to you guys about, but as soon as they come in, they leave. So something about ice cream. One of them really likes ice cream, and I'm getting foods because I'm a foodie. I'm assuming that's why. But if you guys know what he likes, does he like ice cream, Niall? Something about that coming through, or like going out for ice cream. Five of Swords is about like an energy of fighting. He was a very tough energy, very warrior-like. And I got that in I think a reading with Niall and someone else in One Direction. A very warrior-like energy, but a very revelry type, like having fun, you know? Like you're not letting the spoils or the effects of war mess up your heart or mess up your perspective on life. You still are able to enjoy life and have fun. He has a very jovial energy with Niall specifically. And then also there's this energy of resilience. He feels like Niall is really resilient as a person. Wow. I don't see a lot of bad things coming. The hardest energy that I felt so far was with Zayn. And I feel like that's hard because of a number of temptations or something like along those lines. But he has like a connection to Zayn, but there's something about, I'm hearing hope. He has a lot of regrets with Zayn, specifically Zayn. And I feel like that's why he gave him the archetype of the martyr. He feels like he took on a lot of crap that wasn't his. So let's look at Louis here. Okay, this wants to come through. Ace of Pentacles for Louis. God. Ten of Cups. Can I have more information, Spirit? And the Emperor. I'm hearing look who's in charge, and my third eye is like starting to itch. So it's like, look who's in charge. There's something about Louis taking charge of a situation, like when he gets an opportunity, rolling with it. Something about him having a lot of opportunity. And also being someone who manifests and brings really great things in. It feels like he looks up to Louis in that way. Because it seems like Louis is like earth energy. He's coming through with the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. Someone who's slow and steady. and someone who also looks deeper at their pain. Something about him like working through a lot of disappointments in his life. Death, transformation, the sun. Wow, strong energies for Louis. Okay. Wow, Louis smiles in very difficult situations. I feel like he has a very high tolerance for pain. I don't know why I'm getting that. Something about him having a high tolerance, even emotionally, towards pain. If it's not physical pain, it's like he's able to withstand a lot of pain. And I think Harry's aware of that, and that's why he's mentioning it in this reading. His spirit team is mentioning it. There's something about pain with regards to Louis. And with the God archetype, right? When we think about God specifically, I'm not trying to say Louis is God, but I feel like he had a lot of people in his life that were false, Louis specifically. And I feel like Harry saw him go through a number of sadness. Wow. Yeah, he learned a lot of lessons in his sadness or in his difficulties with people in his past. And I feel like though people tried to imprison him and tried to keep him down or hold him down, they weren't able to. And I feel like he's a very resilient soul, a very transformative soul. Does he have a Pluto in Scorpio? Something about him being a very like transformative energy to be around. Learning a lot of lessons, and I'm seeing like grief, like despair in reverse. So it's something about him going through a lot of despair energies or poverty ridden energies and like coming out strong. And I'm seeing like he has a message for people. I feel like Harry feels like Louis has messages for him all the time, like lessons to learn, things to understand. He has a lot of wisdom under his belt. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm just seeing spots, like black and white polka dots. And I don't know if he has a thing for polka dots or if he ever wore something with polka dots that's significant, but I'm getting that energy. Thinker. Yeah, he's a very deep thinker. Harry feels like that towards Louis. I'm feeling like I should continue, so I feel like they want me to do a card for each of them. This one has two. Okay. So I feel like he questions their relationship as a whole, because we have why and community for these other members. So overall energy for Harry towards the rest of One Direction is why, community, and no place like home. Isn't that beautiful, guys? That's like when you question the people around you, like I feel like all of these people are here for some reason. Like we all came together, we're all banded together in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like it was definitely serendipity that they came together. So the why is figuring out what connection do we have with each other. Then it's community, understanding how you guys are connected to each other and in what way and how can this continue, or is it meant to be short-term, long-term, figuring that out. And we have no place like home, recognizing like and being at peace with that. But I see him moving into this energy of like fluid, being more fluid, letting himself kind of roam, not trying to figure all of the questions out, but asking them like, hey, you know, just asking God, for instance, like, why am I in this situation with these people? Like, why are they here in my life? And I feel like that's helped him just kind of accepting life and how these three came into his life. I'm hearing diapers. That's weird. I feel like he feels like he's gone through a lot of transformations and he's like a baby. He went from like being a baby to a toddler is what I'm hearing. Like he went through so many transitions with them. He feels like a mother in some ways. Yeah. Moving forward. Yeah, he feels like their family. He's like their own, like it's like a chosen family, if that makes sense. Beautiful. So this is the overall energy. Let's get into the card for Zayn, TikTok. So in regards to how he feels about Zayn, we're getting TikTok. That's usually about time being of the essence and divine timing at play. There's some really hard, and I'm hearing harsh truths that he learned with Zayn that he had to learn at that moment, and that if he had not met Zayn the way he met him and at the time that he met him, he may not have gone through certain things the same way. Divine timing is really powerful. It can be like for any situation, whether it's a karmic partner or it's someone who's like a complementary partner. You know, karmics usually are about people that teach you really big lessons. And I'm getting that energy of like them learning really big lessons from each other. With regards to Harry and Liam, we have fork in the road, coming to big truths and also like recognizing which direction to turn. Like I told you guys, right? He had the rescuer archetype for Harry felt that Liam was a rescuer energy. Like he had like ideas for how to bulk up, or like ideas for fitness, or ideas for different things, and he felt like he had to make a decision with him. Interesting. I almost feel like Harry had maybe like a superiority complex in some regards towards Liam for some reason. Like he felt like he would talk to him, but I feel like he already knew what he wanted to do anyway. Even if he talked to him about it, it was like, yeah, I got it, I'm good. But he would still talk to Liam because he loved just talking, you know, to him. Something like that is coming through. Like they had a really like jovial thing going at times, but they also were like very straightforward. Interesting. Or like they already knew what they wanted to do before they even asked. So why ask? It's just for fun, I guess. We have serendipity and yang. Beautiful energy. Wow, for Niall and Harry. Beautiful, sweet energy towards Niall and Harry. Serendipity that they met. Yeah. Number 1, 8 is here, and number 1. Number 1 and 8 are significant to Harry in some way, and number 3 as well. Interesting. He really needed him. I'm hearing like he was a starter pack for Harry, meaning he brought so much joy, so much information that helped Harry propel himself forward. He needed that energy. So what Niall brought specifically was so needed in Harry, and he recognizes it. And I think he recognizes it a bit more in its totality than the others. I feel like he recognizes all of them in their own way, but I feel like he understands definitely how serendipitous this relationship was. He had 2 cards. None of them had 2. Just him. Okay, so something about that is coming through. It's important for us to know that. All right, let's keep going. So we got Harry, how he feels about each of them, right? Let's keep going. And if anyone ever feels like doing timestamps, I would be so thankful. If you guys ever look at my videos and are wondering why there's no timestamps, I'm so sorry. It's just a lot to take in to like do after editing and all of that. So if you guys ever feel the need to do that to help everyone else, that would mean the world to me. So, all right, let's keep going. We had a couple of cards come through for Harry. I think we should look at them. We have Mystic, Destroyer, Detective, and Child Divine. Purple is coming through, which is about like your intuitive nudging. I feel like Harry has grown a lot in his intuitive senses. Third eye, you know, amethyst is really important for that. I don't know if he wears amethyst or has ever worn amethyst around him. I'm hearing cocky. He can be cocky. We're getting the Destroyer, which means that he is the energy of someone who needs to be careful of his anger, or be very careful with what he does, because what he does can set people on a really strong or a really big trajectory, meaning he has some potentially destructive tendencies, but he also can use that to prepare for new life and do something new and big with it, with his art, with his music. So he just has to, because I got this card, that's the only reason I'm saying that, message of concern for Destroyer. He just needs to be careful of what bridges he burns, okay? Mystic, Destroyer. And we also have Detective, the energy of someone who is really good at observing people and seeking out the truth. Even if he doesn't know why he feels a certain way towards someone, there's a reason. I'm getting that energy. And yeah, partnerships for Harry, I feel like he's very intuitive about the people he partners up with. I feel like he recognizes when someone's trying to lock him down or control him. He's not about that. I'm getting that energy. I feel like he doesn't want anyone to affect or negatively impact his childlike energy, because we're having Child Divine come through. That's about innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. Okay, let's get into something here with Harry and those 4, with his other 4 bandmates here. I want to like mix it up, okay? Let's see, what is something that we don't know about the relationship between Harry and Zayn? What is something that we don't know? Let's get into one card here. What is something that we don't know about, okay? Let's get into that in a second. What is something that we don't know about Liam and Harry? 2 here, 2 there. What do we not know about Harry and Niall, Spirit? Okay. Okay. And what do we not know about Lewis and Harry? What is something that we don't know? Come to the edge. Okay. Let's get into it. So I feel like I need to go into some specific situations for these people, these cute, these really amazing people here. Let's get into specifics. So intuitively for Harry, something that we don't know about him and Niall specifically, they came to each other for a lot of really deep inner questions. So there was a really difficult time mentally for one of them. One of them had a really difficult time either with bouts of depression or bouts of like considering some really deep, some really difficult situations in their life. I'm getting a ringing in my right ear as I'm saying that. There's something about them shifting or helping each other shift through some really difficult times. When one of them had a concern about them going down the wrong road or doing something that they would regret, the other came to help. And I'm getting the Four of Swords. Usually the Four of Swords is about rest. So, interesting. I'm getting the energy of like, you know when two people have like slept in the same bed or something like that? Something like that is coming through along with the Page of Pentacles. You know when you're so tired from the day and you guys have talked about some stuff and you're deciding to just lay down and you end up just closing your eyes and falling asleep? I feel like they had a lot of like fears and a lot of things that they told each other and really confided in each other with. And what they did was they fought those things by talking to each other. That helped them get past some really difficult energies here. But they were very combative, very young energies. They were very young, of course, when they met. I'm just getting the energy, but they learned a lot of hard lessons with each other. They were very honest, too, with each other. And that sometimes produced a combative energy. Usually the person that helps you shift, growth. They helped each other grow in very major ways in psychic development. These two are very important to each other because they needed that in their lives. They needed to have someone that actually was like telling them the truth and actually was vying for them or really trying to plead their case. Slow and steady though. They were very faithful with each other. Sexual energy is coming through in omens. You guys do with that what you will. I said what I said about the Harry in the reading I did for Harry and Zayn, and I said what I said. I keep getting the sexual energy card. That can also mean creative energy because it's focusing on like their creative process. They understood each other on a very deep level, and I'm seeing that coming through again. And we have truth. Like the truth will set you free. Like I feel like some people need to accept some truths regarding these two. They made sacred space for each other, and I see the reunion of souls, which is a soulmate card. So I'm just getting that energy that they had a very strong bond, very tough bond, very like karmic in a way because it showed them a lot of things that they needed to heal. And I also am getting the card honoring your energy. They needed to learn how to honor their energy together, and that's just the truth of the situation. There were so many signs of this relationship or signs of what was happening and that it wasn't going to work is what I'm hearing in some way. They were getting a lot of signs and synchronicities. But let's keep going. That's something you may not know. Four of Swords. They found solace and peace with each other. I can't say that any more than I already said it. Beautiful energy though. It's just hard. Yeah, Justice. And the Sun. Seven of Swords, running away. They ran away from their happiness because of the dark being too hard to bear or to experience. Three of Swords, Two of Cups. Guys, very strong bond, but there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain in this energy. It's almost like I want to run out of it. I'm sorry, but okay. Something about women being in the way, something like that. That came out in the other reading in the past, I believe, but I'm getting that energy again. Some female presence being in the way. With regards to Liam and Harry, right? with Liam and Harry, we have chop wood and breathe. I feel like what we don't know about Harry and Liam is that, wow, there's some issues with regards to Harry and like certain things. I'm not sure if it was like alcohol. I don't know. He had like something to do with like some vice. And I think Liam tried to help him with that. It was either vice versa, or it was Harry that was dealing with it. Something about him having to come to terms with a need for help, and false persons here. You know when you get like a membership at a gym and you want to do something, but then the person that you're getting or that you have is not the right person or fit for you. I'm getting that energy. Like Liam tried to be this person for Zayn, for Harry. Liam tried to be this person for Harry, but he was not meant to fit that title, but he tried to force that title in. They're cool with each other. It's just the energy of like someone that tries to tell you what to do, or tries to like encourage you to do something, or tries to tell you to do something differently. And I feel like Harry had a vice or some difficulty, or he had some relationship with a person that was false as well. And he had his thoughts. Liam had his thoughts about that person, and he tried to tell him. I'm hearing, like I'm seeing liberty, yeah, like Harry specifically. Okay. He received a lot of like information that was despairing or very disappointing for him. And I'm seeing expectation here, and I'm also seeing main female. Yeah. Okay, interesting. I'm getting Taylor vibes. So around the time that he was in One Direction and I think Harry was dating Taylor, there was either like Liam was trying to tell him something about the relationship in the past and like telling him he needs to do some work or he has to do something, and he wasn't as receptive. And he thought it was like distant, you know? But then a message came through, or he sent a message to Harry, and like we have child, message of concern, and family room. Interesting. Ooh, I don't know what that is about. Not to say like ew, but I get the energy of someone that didn't trust the other party. So like for instance with Taylor, I don't think Liam trusted her, or he felt like there was something that could happen if he let his friend kind of continue on in a relationship with Taylor specifically. Something like that is coming through. I feel like he gave Harry intel. Did he give Harry intel, Spirit? I feel like Liam talks. Did Liam give Harry intel specifically about Taylor? I'm hearing Hennessy. Does he like Hennessy? I think he told him to move on from Taylor. I'm getting that energy because I see 8 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. To not hurt her feelings, also to not like to do what he did. I feel like it has something to do with the breakup, like sending a message to her. So I feel like he was trying to tell him like, don't do something you're gonna regret, man. Don't do it this way because you're gonna regret that. And I feel like Harry then decided to slow down a bit, but then he also became very protective of telling him stuff. Like he didn't want to say anything anymore. I feel like Harry ended up being more communicative with Taylor because of something that Liam said to him. That helped the situation actually, because I'm getting Taylor's energy with the Queen of Wands, the Empress, and the 4 of Cups. She wasn't seeing it coming though, so she kind of had her reserves, or like her like feeling of like conflict with regards to Harry breaking up with Taylor. I'm just getting Taylor's energy. She's in this reading, okay? 4 of Wands, a lot of joy, King of Wands, 3 of Swords. It caught her off guard. It caught her off guard, definitely, but I feel like Liam had something to do with helping ease the blow a little bit more, just a little bit more, and that's what they want me to tell you. He didn't see him as the right person for Taylor, and he communicated that, like, are you playing around with her, or are you like gonna like tell her? And I feel like he told him to clean it up. He told him to work on that. And I'm getting these cards, King of Cups and the Moon. Yeah. His affections lay elsewhere. Was Liam ever interested in Taylor? Just out of curiosity, Spirit. Was Liam ever interested in Taylor? I'm getting 7 of Cups, Page of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Six of Swords. He didn't know. He kind of thought of her as an option, and I feel like he just didn't want him to affect the relationship that people had with One Direction. I feel like he was thinking of the team as well, but he also wanted to see her as a generous person, didn't want any negativity, water under the bridge, but he considered her an option. He was interested in her, actually. So that's something you guys may have known or not. This is something new to me. But I'm getting the energy of like him wanting to salvage something with her. Yeah, because he had he felt like she was a good friend, or it felt like she was like a kind soul. And he watched her from afar. Yeah, he was interested in her from afar. And I don't know if he told Harry, but I think Harry found out. Maybe, interesting. Was Liam interested? Okay, balance. When I asked that question, this flew out. He was not sure. It was between two people. He was interested in her. Yeah, he was interested in her, and I don't know if Harry knew that until later on. I feel like Harry might have found out, and then that's why another reason why he broke it off. Because I see that Liam sees Taylor as the Queen of Cups, but he thought it would be burdensome to be in a relationship. He only was interested in her like as far as like attractiveness. He was interested in her like physically. I'm not sure if he was willing to go through the mental hoops or emotional hoops or whatever it was, is what I'm getting. Interesting energy. All right, so what else do we need to know? Is there anything else we need to know about Liam? Courtship. They had a brotherhood, like a brotherhood is really important here. We have gift, community, and we have house. He felt like he was family to him, with family room as well. Beautiful. We also had message of concern and toil and labor. They looked out for each other with regards to their work. They worked really hard together, of course, but I'm getting that energy. I'm going to continue this in a second, guys, so that my camera can kind of get some time before it overheats. But I'll be right back, and we're going to continue on, okay? Okay, everyone, so we're going to get back into it, and hopefully my camera will allow that. But, excuse me, let's get into it. Let's get into Niall. So Niall and Harry. What is something that we don't know, Spirit, with regards to Niall and Harry? Because what we have here is the Fates. That's usually with the number 17, the number of the star card as well. If you guys can see that, it's a little tricky. Number 17. So healing. I'm hearing resurgence. We also have the Four of Pentacles, secrets. Okay. What is something that we don't know? We have the Strength card, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Wands, along with the Seven of Pentacles. I'm hearing resistance. There was some resistance. Interesting. Resistance in communication. They were very protective of each other. So the energy that's coming through is that they were very protective of communication with each other. Protective of, like, I'm hearing outings as well with each other. Nine of Wands, the Emperor, and it might have something to do with maybe like how there were rumors surrounding Harry with a number of people, or a number of people. So I feel like there was some hesitancy around this relationship and trying to protect it and salvage it, and to have it for something that they can look at long term and feel really satisfied about. There's something about that coming through. Their work relationship, their balance, their karma. Okay, what situation are we talking about here? We have message number 7. Privileged lady. Interesting. And I see expectation and unexpected income. Interesting. It's interesting, the energy I'm getting with them. They have a lot more secrets between the two of them. Okay, so the energy is that they had some money that exchanged hands. This is something I'm getting PI vibes here. We have community, toil and labor, and message of concern. I'm hearing Fairchild, and for some reason I'm thinking of, like, when I think of Fairchild, I think of tropical gardens. That was something down in South Florida that I knew about, and I feel like Fairchild, something about the name Fairchild, it could be Rothschild, or something about like there being like some experience they've had in the industry. Because when I look at this, I see the music industry, right? Sudden wealth. I feel like they recognize some secrets. They know some secrets between the two of them, and there's something key between the two of them that they know about a very privileged woman in society. But for some reason, I'm getting like queen vibes, like like the queen, knowing something about the queen in some capacity. Yeah, I feel like with an official person, that's the queen. This person who had a lot of money, I don't know if they employed him. It's something about like these two being employed. They were employed and expected to perform some duty. And I feel like they know between the two of them about this. Why the others wouldn't know, I'm not sure. Let's get more clarity on this. Spirit, why is this coming through this way? It feels like they had something that they were protecting. What's going on here? We have the Seven of Cups and we have the Nine of Swords. It caused them a lot of strain, a lot of stress, a lot of worry. And there were some illusions, some confusing energies. What's interesting is when I see the Seven of Cups, I think of drinking. Like someone drinking, or putting something in their drink. We have the Six of Pentacles sideways, which is about them needing to regain balance and stability, but them being really stuck in their head. Interesting. I feel like they went through something really big, like a big journey. Like they physically went or traveled somewhere. Somewhere that was really hot and sunny. They moved. Interesting. I'm getting weird vibes from these two with regards to the secret. Like, you know, like desert, like a desert. Going to a desert or going to an area that's like a desert. And I'm hearing like Angola. Why would I hear that? I don't know, because I don't know how, if it's temperate there or what. But I'm getting like traveling somewhere, and then it only being a few of them, but moving very quickly, and like there being like some kind of like agreement between them. What else here? We have the Six of Swords, traveling. So I'm not getting really good vibes. And I don't care what people have to say about it, but there's some emperor, like a masculine energy that's come through twice in this reading. Emperor. So there's some emperor that's coming through that's that controlled them at one point, or did something with them, or employed them for something, and it was with this privileged lady, with this queen, or with this person that's of great status. This is like a trade thing, like a why between these two and not the rest is my concern or question. Why is it just these two? Is it just these two? Let's ask that. Is it just these two? The Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Cups, it's just the two of them. It might be others. It could be 6 other people in the industry. But I'm getting like it was really overwhelming. And I feel like there's something about the Hermetic. You know how my name is Hermetic Herald? It's because it's based off of like the Hermetic principles. And I feel like the Hermetic principles are coming up, like trade secrets in the industry. Them being tied to someone that knew trade secrets, and it being very like overwhelming for them. Interesting. They learned a lot of things about them, about the industry, or about certain things, but they kind of like ran away from it. They were not expecting what they got. And I'm hearing Rothschild again. Okay. Nine of Wands. Just as we got the Nine of Wands earlier, we're getting the Nine of Wands again. This is about trying to keep something going, and like trying to be like, put your head down, work, focus on your craft, and not get too in your head about something. They're involved with something. And I'm hearing the title industry plans. Okay, and I'm not trying to like accuse them of that, but I definitely am getting some vibes between the two of them of at least knowing something. definitely knowing something and definitely being employed by someone for something. And I feel like they got a lot of wealth out of it, but they look back on it like, what happened? Like, what was that about? And I'm hearing Justin Bieber, so he might have something else, like he may know something about this. I'm hearing a number of people. Interesting. Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups. Interesting, right? We're getting 111. 111 here. Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles. This was really good for them. It helped them a lot. It really set them on a trajectory. We have the 3 of Cups. But there's something here about drinking something. Yeah, so I'm just getting the 3 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. My phone or my camera decided to die there. So like, it seems like this information is just needing to come out. So I'm just getting the information that they're focusing between the two of them. These two, what we may not know is that they have had some dealing with regards to drinking something. What's interesting is I'm getting, you know, like communion. For some reason I'm getting with the 3 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. You know that little thing that you eat for communion, and it's like the bread, or it's like a little cookie of some sort. You guys know what it is. I don't want to be ignorant. I really feel like I'm getting into that realm when I say that, but I really want to kind of clarify that it looks like it had something to do with like communion. Like when you're toasting with a group of people, it's almost like communion, because you guys are all coming together to clarify like just the joy, to really imbibe and to enjoy the whatever it is, whether it be the presence of Christ, for instance, in communion, his blood and his flesh, or like in any situation. I'm getting that energy of like a pact. So you guys might not know that, but there is a pact between these two in regards to like a group of people within the industry. And the Queen of Swords is here. I don't know why these two, like Harry and Niall specifically, have been through this, but there's the Queen of Swords, which is clarity, which is they learned some really big truths and things that they can really carry. And I'm hearing take it to the bank. Like it's something that really helped them in their career path. And I don't know how deep this goes, but I'm getting that. And I want to just kind of move forward because I have like, there's a number of things we need to get through, but if something comes up again, I'll let you guys know. It's just really, really interesting. That's kind of a wild card situation to talk about something like that in this reading. But then again, it is the music industry and I'm not surprised. It's just, there's a lot to talk about. Yeah, the fates. These two were fated to be in this group together, and I feel like they were very intentionally placed in one direction. I don't know, someone was vying for them on the inside, like with these two people specifically. They could have been involved, you know, Niall, meaning any of them could have dealt with this, but they didn't get through as far as Harry and Niall did, is what I'm getting. This could be as simple as getting invited to an event and that taking them on a trajectory because they got to meet some really important people. Yeah, we have the main male pathway and we have toil and labor. It really helped them on their path. So that's something you guys might not know. Now, with regards to Harry and regards to Louis, we have come to the edge horizontally. Concern came through first. So there was some concern about something, you know, I'm getting the visualization of someone who's being talked down off a ledge. So there's something about Harry feeling like he had to talk down either Louis down off a ledge with regards to some difficulties he was experiencing. Yeah, Harry feels like a motherly energy towards Louis. Very considerate, very careful, and very sweet, because he's been through some really shifty and shady and sketchy things in life. I'm just getting that energy like that Louis has been through it, and I feel like he's a very strong warrior type energy, but I'm getting that he had some moments where Harry had to talk him off the ledge, and that's coming through in this reading. Something about him having like torturous thoughts, like having to deal with like really difficult thoughts. And he had to tell him, let's get off the ledge. Let's get off the edge here. Let's take the edge off of a situation. And he had to help him. And I feel like he went through some really emotionally difficult times, specifically Louis. And Louis really helped. Louis could have been at some points like a temptation, in the sense of like when Louis would get into really dark thoughts or deep thoughts about something, it kind of made him have to like strengthen his trust in what he knew about his success and what he knew about things getting better, because sometimes he would kind of understand where he was coming from. You know, like when you have a friend that's going through a really difficult time and they're talking about real things, like topics about like family, about abuse, traumas, about just guilt, regrets, about things. Sometimes it can get you down because you're feeling what they're feeling. And I feel like sometimes he had to really combat that with the Five of Wands. He had to really say like, no, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through that energy and we're going to find balance. He had to, you see how there's two people in both of these? It's like he had to find a way to help nurture him in some way. And I feel like I got this in a reading prior, and I'm not sure if it's Harry and Louis or Harry and someone else, but a motherly vibe between the two of them as well. Knight of Pentacles is here, slow and steady with this relationship. Learning and getting to know each other slow and steadily, but having a very strong bond because of how steadily they were about each other and about getting to know each other. Ten of Swords. Really difficult energies that these two went through. What would you like to say to close part one of this reading? Because we're going to go through each of them. We have Judication, we have Message, and we have Distant Horizons. I also feel this and this card as well. And I'm hearing Emily Dickinson coming through. So like reading, writing. Something about like Louis really helping him tap into his creative abilities through writing or through books. Something about them seeing some depth in their relationship through their connection to books and material. And I feel like they also felt, weirdly enough, it's like they felt like they were a married couple in some ways. Concern, unexpected income, expectation. They also were very interesting with offers. They cared about each other. They wanted to make sure each of them were okay, specifically Harry and Louis. So I feel like when one would get an offer, they were like, I expect you to get something as well. Judgment. Or they would speak out, because I got the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles coming through. They would speak out about one person not getting a good deal or one person not being treated right, and they would defend each other. They almost felt like very similarly tied in the fact that they felt like they were in a very difficult situation being a celebrity. And I felt like between everyone else, like between these two specifically more than others, I feel like they understood that with each other. I feel like they had some inner child healing, like they resonated with some part of their inner child as well. I'm just getting really youthful energy despite the pain, right? They went through some difficulties, but they had a lot of youthful and like charming energies with each other. But I feel like they went through some mental issues, like mental cycles, specifically with Louis at times. They went through some sadness, but they were there for each other. And this is what I mean by divine timing. They were together for a reason. They needed each other at this time, the High Priestess. So that's what I'll leave you guys with for now. If you do enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Doing so will help people see this in the algorithm. But until next time, we're going to get into part 2. So I hope to see you guys there. But you take care, and I'll see you soon.